Hi, today we're going to talk about Portamento. What's that? Well, I won't get into details. I am a professor, but I'll try and avoid too much of that. It means a couple of things. The main meaning is to carry. Portable would be a root word. Porter, right? Someone who carries. Musically, what does it mean? To me, it means to carry the line between the notes. And in Mahler, you'll hear this a lot, this sound used. Dio, Dio. You can do that on a string instrument. You can carry the note between the notes. Now, it's a little more difficult on a trumpet, and that's one reason why I'm going to spend a couple minutes today talking about this. We're looking for the smoothest possible connection between the notes. That's probably a good way to think about it. So I'm going to play from page 126 in my edition of the book, the Arban book, number 55. And this is the first exercise in the section called the Portamento. I'll go ahead and play it. Sorry, wrong note. Another nice tune. Arban wrote a lot of nice tunes. So what to notice about this? In this case, you have a lot of grace notes that go to an upper note. They go from the lower note to an upper note. And so what you're working on is to try and make a smooth connection between the two. Now, on the trumpet, we can't do that, but we can try. And if everything is balanced, your breath, your embouchure is well supported, and the aperture is supple and free to vibrate, you're not restricting the airflow at all, and you're not relying on mouthpiece pressure to get the upper notes, you're going to be able to keep that vibration going between the notes. Even though you're crossing a fair amount of range sometimes. We can't actually gliss unless we use a half valve. So that's one way to practice it, to actually get into being able to do this more easily. So make it as smooth as you can. And if you want to gliss, see if you can get all the notes in between. Don't jump from one note to another. Now, I'll give you a hint here, and this, for those of you who are familiar with James Stamp and his work, it's kind of an interesting thing. He made these little arrows, and so when you're playing a lower note and you're going to an upper note, then he always puts an arrow going to the lower note, and then the upper note, he puts an arrow going this way. So the phrase came to be remembered: when you go up, stay down, and when you go down, stay up. Now, some of you know what that means. In other words, you've actually experienced it. You know what it feels like when you're doing that correctly. And this is the technique you're trying to learn here. Whether you're going up or down. I'm going to play another little short etude for you that goes where the grace notes are going to a lower note. And it's the same idea. That actually is more difficult for most people. So what's it mean? Well, it means when you're playing the F that goes to the D, the first grace note that you have, on the F grace note, don't reach for the upper note. Don't shift the pitch. Stay right in the center of the note as if you're going to hold that note for your full breath until it's stable. And then feel the spin of the air and feel the momentum that you're going. Now, you're always going to tend to add a little pressure, maybe choke in the throat, pinch with your lips, try and do something with your tongue in order to make that upper note come out. You need to learn how to glide. That's the sensation. It's a sensation of gliding, flying between the notes freely. And when you get this, it's one of the best feelings that you can get on a brass instrument. But it does require a certain amount of skill. So I just mentioned the downward one, so I'll see if I can play this one. I made a mistake on the first one, and I haven't practiced these, so it is what it is. I'm going to play 58 now for you, and you'll hear the downward portamento. So a good way to practice these is slow them down. So you're going, same thing with the gliss, and you can do a half valve gliss on these too. So it'll be very interesting for you to try this. And remember, stay on the note. If you're on an upper note, stay on the upper note. Stay up. If you're on the lower note, stay down. Now, for this, if this doesn't work for you, it doesn't make sense, that's okay. When you learn how to do it, it will make sense, because I think you'll be able to feel what I'm talking about. Okay, I think that's enough Arban doohickeys for today. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to do next, but I hope that you'll join me when you get around to it. Have a great practice. I'll see you later on. Bye-bye.